Welcome back to another episode of Sports Dan Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Hooker, and today's episode is about college basketball. Something new for the channel. Introduce yourself, man.
Hey y'all, what's up, man? It's Cameron Belcher, aka Cam, the sports guy, and it's nice for me to be on here as a guest. I'm honored. You know what I'm saying?
Already starting. Now, for the men's side of college basketball, this freshman class has looked like one of the most elite classes that has came out. So, for this freshman class, who are some of the standouts that you are watching? Because, not to be disrespectful, both our teams are not looking that great this season. And we have some draft capital. So, with that being said, who do you have eyes on for this upcoming 2026 draft?
Oh man, if I have to go guard, I definitely got to go with Mikael Brown Jr. out of Louisville. I mean, just seeing how he commanded the offense and had the confidence that he had as a freshman going against an in-state rival, like their biggest rival in collegiate sports, especially in the in college basketball. For him to like go out there, even though he had the home court advantage, but to go out there and embrace that home crowd and not be scared of the bright moments, that is just only going to continue to carry over, especially as he continues to get in bigger moments in his career. And obviously, the next big moment that he will have in his collegiate career could potentially be the March Madness tournament.
Yeah, Mikael Brown Jr. He's one of those crafty scoring guards who can also play the point guard position. At Louisville, they go as he goes, and that's probably arguably the theme of this freshman class. Their team is going to go as far as their freshman takes them, because this freshman class, they have a lot on their shoulders, and I think that getting their team to March Madness is just the surface level. I think having a deep run is what fans want to see, and they want to see that talent to be on full display, because all these freshmen are going to play in hard conferences. Maybe that's the Big 12, the SEC, the ACC. I think that there will be a lot of eyes on these freshmen, and we'll see some risers, and we will see some players that won't be on a lot of people's boards.
Yeah, I mean, you got to show up when the moments are bright. I mean, obviously, when it comes to the ACC, they won't have to worry about, the football side of things with no competition, because in that ACC, it get wicked. So I ain't gonna, especially with Cameron Boozer, another freshman at Duke, and him being a projected top pick. It's definitely gonna be to a point where it's like, just like it seems like that's the ongoing theme in college and collegiate athletics in general, is that hey, you can't duck any opponents, because at the end of the day, it's gonna come to light.
Yeah, especially that, because North Carolina's freshman forward, Caleb Wilson, he said he has a hip miss. And so he said when he played against Kansas, he said his lock screen was him at the McDonald's All-American game.
Okay.
Because his teammate was Darren Peterson, and he didn't touch the ball in the fourth quarter.
Oh.
So we went out and dominated and got.
Show why he should have got the ball in it. Hey, that's what you like. That's what you want to see out of a freshman. Like, of course, it's different compared to college football where they have to play at least 3 years. So it's not like you. On the downside, you're not getting to see them continuously do this year in and year out. It's not a guarantee they can be a one and done. But just to even see how they approach the game with that 1 year you have them, that's something that you really want to see. And that's something that you can use to pitch to other recruits down the line that, hey, if you're the type of player that you say you are and you come in and show it, we will give you the keys and you'll take us to however far you can take us.
Yeah, because North Carolina last year, they didn't look the best.
They did not.
And, they made the tournament. A lot of people had a lot of things to say about them making the tournament. But now I feel like with this team, even though Seth Trimble did get injured with a weight room accident, I think that Caleb Wilson can't carry that burden for however long. And then I think you'll see a nice duo with Caleb Wilson and Seth Trimble moving along for the Tar Heels because I think the Tar Heels is one of the teams that can say the Sweet 16. That should be an expectation for them, even though they have had their years of not being the best. I think getting alongside a 5-star with that mentality, with a veteran who can score, who will defend, and knows the capabilities of what their team can be and push them to that limit. I think that North Carolina, a Sweet 16 appearance is very much on their radar, and even an Elite 8 appearance in my eyes. Yeah, because I think that UNC is gonna be a very fun to watch them
Right.
and Duke battle it out.
Oh yeah, as much as it is pretty much every year. I mean, obviously last year you kind of could gauge who was going to win, not only that matchup but the ACC as a whole. But now it's seeming like UNC they had their down year, but now they're picking it back up.
And I think I have two freshman duos for you: Kingston Flemings and Chris Sinek Jr. for Houston.
Okay.
Houston is really a 3-point attempt away from winning, for tying the national championship and even going to overtime.
Yeah.
For a national championship. I think replacing veterans from a veteran-led group like Houston,
Right.
and coming in, Kingston Fleming's averaging 15. Chris and that he's close to a double-double with 8 points, 9 rebounds. I think as time goes on, you're going to see him get into double figures. You're going to see him become more comfortable in the offense and be more just to the physicality. And I think that for Chris and Nat Jr., replacing Jawan Roberts, who was at that program for 5 years, who was a starter for multiple years, who's the captain of the team. He was basically a coach on the floor for them.
Right.
Kelvin Sampson even said, like, Houston basketball for their modern era, you go look at Jawan Roberts. He wasn't the best. He wasn't the best scorer. He wasn't the best defender. He played hard and he played for all 40 minutes. And I think that what Houston embodies, defense first and the offense comes second. I think these freshmen, they're gonna play defense, but that offense, they're gonna score that ball.
It done got a little better. So
Yeah,
you get a 2-for-1.
Yeah, so I think both coming in and impacting this Houston program to where there's no drop off for that level of talent and that level of play. And I think that Houston can get back to the Final Four. And I think Houston can have a chance of winning a national championship. But my other duo, 2 guards, Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff from Arkansas. Arkansas last year, there were a lot of ups and downs. But I think this right here brings them an anchor. I think that bringing them an anchor, bringing them these 2 guys, they don't keep things steadfast. Even though they might have some tough times, I think that it's going to be very consistent, very even kill between these 2. And, John Calipari, he's the guard whisperer. Let's put it, John Wall, Devin Booker, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He puts guards in the league, and then once you see them in the league, they flourish. I think these are the next 2 in line because in the beginning of the season, everyone's talking about Darius Acuff and how good he was as a scorer, how good he was as a downhill driver. But no one was talking about Malik Thomas as being one of the guys on his team. And now that Malik Thomas is here, I think that Malik Thomas being as good of a scorer as he is will be very much needed when March comes around. Because when it comes to March, your guards take you how far you can go. We've seen it with Florida, Walter Clayton Jr.
Generational run last season.
So when you have a guy that can score, close games, I think as the year goes on, these freshmen will learn how to close games, and these freshmen will learn how to play basketball the right way. I think Coach Cal will push these players to reach their maximum potential to look good in front of NBA scouts. Because at the end of the day, John Calipari knows you're here for 1 year. Let's maximize that 1 year and make sure you get everything that you get out of it to make sure you're a top pick for next year's draft.
And I feel like that's with majority of these top programs that have been on the rise, especially when you get a head coach like John Calipari. We already know the success that he had over at Kentucky. So just going over to Arkansas, he was able to get those players to buy in. And like how you said, whenever you're getting in these deep tournaments and conference tournaments and competing for a national championship, you need your guards to be on their A game. And you can't just, obviously it would be it's nice to have two guards, but usually most teams they only really have that one. So having that two, it can really help them and give them that best chance to get farther than they did last season because they kind of shot quite a bit of people last season in the tournament as well. So if they can take that into this season and which they're supposed to have, subjectively the better roster from a season prior, who knows how far Arkansas can go and make some noise.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So how do you feel if you were an NBA GM? Who would you choose, AJ DeBansa or Darren Peterson?
Of course, the hype was with AJ DeBansa, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Darren Peterson. I ain't gonna lie, like
what? I did not expect that answer. Not gonna lie.
Darren Peterson, like he literally, like when you look at him on the tape, you'll think, oh, he's just like a pure shooter, this, that, and the third. But no, like he literally can score all three levels. Of course, like he has that youngness in him, that scrappiness in him when it comes to the defense. So I feel like he's really going to allow Kansas to. Obviously, we seen how Kansas fizzled out last season. They started off the season as the number one team in the AP poll preseason, and then ended up not even making the March Madness tournament. And so I think Darren Peterson is there to ensure that the Jayhawks don't have to go through that again. And I feel like come March Madness time, obviously, I think as of right now on the ESPN's scouting report of top 100 players, he's number one for right now. But I definitely think come tournament time, he definitely can seal and deliver that number one draft pick.
No. Wow. Now, for a forward, that's a project. Cole Pete and Nate Ament, both are projects in their respective places because Cole Pete, great athlete, but we have to see the touch.
Right.
We have to see soon touch. We have to see him extend his range. I think that being at Arizona, that has a chance for that to happen because Arizona's going to give him the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Arizona's going to make sure that if the scoring is going to come from anyone, it's going to come from you. And I think that Cole Pete has a chance to show NBA scouts, hey, I've been working on my fadeaway. Hey, I've been working on my mid-range. Hey, I even extended out to the college three-point line, which can show that if I can extend out from the college three-point line, why not the NBA line? And I think that can be shown for Cole Pete. Now, for Nate Ament, on the other hand, he can shoot the cover off the ball.
Yeah, he can.
But physicality is going to be his calling card. I think how he can handle the physicality of the SEC, of college basketball. Because when we see him try to drive a straight line, we see him get knocked off on his line.
His path. Mm-hmm.
And I think that with that, I think Nate Ament, his versatility is his calling card. His versatility is going to be the one. It's going to be the one thing that scouts are going to fall in love with.
Oh, yes.
I think that Nate Ament, Tennessee's a winning program. So he's going to learn how to play the right way, which is team basketball. And when in doubt, the star player's going to get the ball. He's going to make sure Rick Barnes, their head coach, is going to make sure that Nate Ament's going to have a good look at things because Jacob Gillespie came from Maryland, who shoots the ball at a pretty high clip. And I think that him and Jacob Gillespie will be very important. And I think that with that being said, I think that both will be star players for this Volunteers team. And I think that both will have a very important season. But Nate Ament, if you want to be a top 5 pick, like people have you projected in some mock drafts, you have to show that you can handle the physicality of the grown man in the SEC and lead Tennessee to new heights. Because if you can do that, a top 5 pick, and that money's going to be calling your name. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, because you already look at Ament and you see, the tape and you see his game. He has the tools. Like, it's definitely there. He kind of has like a LaMarcus Aldridge type of shot in terms of like his form of his stance. Like he's the definition of a square up shooter, and he can really take his He can take his ability to the 3-point line. Now, obviously, we know prime LaMarcus Aldridge, he made his money at the mid range, but Mint has been able to show that he can shoot it from deep as well. Now, like you said, the physicality, that's definitely going to have to be something that he's going to have to get better with throughout the season, and I think he will learn with time. Obviously, the first couple conference games will be a little tough, or they could be tough, but I feel like as the season goes along, he'll definitely get accustomed to that. But he's already shown like he has the passing ability, he can run the floor, and he has the length and the size. So I really feel like Mint can really be a player that can put the nation on watch this season.
Yeah, for sure. Now, for the other side of college basketball, for the women's,
yes,
how do you feel about UConn?
UConn, I feel really good about UConn. I mean, obviously they did lose Paige Beckers, which is a generational talent. I mean, Paige Beckers, her game, I really like her game. I really appreciate her game and the way how she's led UConn. Even with the adversity that she had with tearing her ACL, and I'm happy that she was able to get her national championship last season. But even with her departure, you still have Sarah Strong, who had an amazing freshman campaign last season. Then you still have AZ Fudd, who has shown, like, even with coming back from her injury, that she can score the basketball at a high clip. And with Gino Auriemma, I mean, you can never put nothing past a guy like that when it comes to how he prepares his team and how they're going to be in position every single time to win the basketball game.
Yeah, because no Paige, no problem, it seems like.
Hey.
And I think that Sarah Strong will show that UConn and her are here to stay. And I think that Sarah Strong, she can show that she can arguably be the best player in the country.
Yes.
And I think she'll have the ample amount of opportunities to do so. And I think that them adding Sarah Williams, who's a shot blocker, who's another big
presence down in the paint.
Yeah, so if Sarah Strong gets in foul trouble, their defense won't drop off because she's off the floor. I think having a controlling paint presence like Sarah Williams will be very key down the line, because we know once come tournament time, everyone's gonna give you their best shot.
Oh, yeah, and that just goes back to the point about Gino making sure that regardless of who's in, he's going to be able to find players that can quickly, replace that at any given time. I mean, Paige Beckers isn't the only fantastic player to come out of that UConn program, and Gino has to, pretty much reset the drawing board. It actually should be easier because you have things like the transfer portal, in which he was able to, get a big piece for that team. But, when he was replacing the amazing players such as the Maya Moores and the Diana Taurasi's, I mean, he always found a way back then. So at UConn, they're always going to have a chance. In my eyes, I feel like when it comes to their chances of repeating, I wouldn't call anyone crazy for betting on them to repeat.
Now we're talking about repeat. Now, a team that hasn't played for a championship but always been in the tops of it and always comes a little short.
Yes.
LSU.
Yes.
LSU added Malaysia Fuwali from South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
They also have two prolific scorers, which is Michaela Williams and Flau'jae Johnson. How do you see her fitting into this team? Because she is coming off the bench, but she's still been a presence off the bench too, where she's a microwave scorer, and now she's going to get things going on the offensive end for her team.
Yeah, and LSU fans don't get at sports then. Y'all did win y'all national championship against Caitlin Clark couple seasons ago, but in general, y'all do gotta admit y'all be coming up a little short now. Like, just be honest. When y'all gotta play Dawn and them, hey, y'all know what be happening. But anyways, like, LSU, they're always going to find a way to be in the midst, I feel like, regardless of who they have. I mean, Kim Mulkey, she does a great job, too, when it comes to replacing players. Obviously, she came over to LSU after having a lot of success at Baylor, and going out there and getting in that transfer portal and saying, hey, we can't beat South Carolina, let's go take their star point guard. And that's what she did. And so now we're gonna see how that continues to fare for them this whole entire season. But I like that. I mean, of course, you lost Morrow last season, because she ended up graduating, going to the WNBA, and you still have Flage, you still got a lot of interesting pieces. You add Williams, and Moki is just making sure that she's always gonna keep them in the mix, and so at any given time they can go in there and strike.
All right, now speaking about South Carolina added Tanai Latson, who was arguably the NCAA's best scorer. She's averaged 30. She's averaged over 28 points a game. And now them losing a guard like Tina Pow, them losing some key pieces, but adding Ravens Johnson backcourt duo from high school where they won 4 straight title games.
I think that's 100%, ain't it?
4 for 4. Right? And I ain't talking Wendy's.
No Wendy's.
So I think that for that, I'll say Tanai Latson adds a new wrinkle. Nothing. This no diss to Malaysia Fuali. I think Tanai Latson's scoring back is more pro-like than Malaysia's Fuali. I think Malaysia's more flashy.
Yeah.
I think it's more. I don't want to say street basketball, but more flashy, just more flashy.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to Tanai Latson, it's
get to it.
Yeah, like there's no playing games.
Get the ball, 1-2 move, score.
And then I think plus that, I think it helps build the confidence of Raven Johnson to become more of a scorer. To look at the floor and say, okay, I can make some scoring opportunities happen. Because when you have your backcourt duo from high school, where you accomplish 4 straight high school state championships, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm confident. And plus, you've been the starting point guard for this team for the past 3 seasons, and where you won 2 national championships.
It's literally plug and play.
So that I say, South Carolina has a really good chance at making the national championship and winning because they also added a double machine from Mississippi State, Oko, from her, and what I've seen from her, she's 6'4", 6'5", handling the ball on the break, and pushing the tempo and making the correct decision passing.
And Don Staley in South Carolina, I didn't forget about you either. Y'all are always gonna have a chance to win a national championship too. I mean, y'all get it. Y'all literally get it out the mud through the defensive end. Obviously, you have players that can go out there and give you buckets at any given time, but you guys make sure you get it done with your defense, and y'all have some of the tallest, most athletic players in the nation pretty much coming to Columbia every single season. So South Carolina, you always have to give respect to them. I mean, it's just like how I complimented Gino. Whenever they lose a player that can be, demoralizing for most other programs to lose, they literally just go out and find the next player, and they make it work with them just as fine.
Yeah, like I'll say for South Carolina, there was a lot of questions going into the season because, okay, Malaysia Fuali is gone. How will Tessa Johnson look? Because her and Tessa came in at the same time. Right. And I think that Tessa Johnson has looked even more locked in. She has looked more comfortable in the system, and she's looked more aggressive because I think, no diss to Malaysia, I think that having her gone is allowing more score opportunities for Tessa Johnson. And I think
of course
we all know how good Tessa Johnson, a shooter, is.
Right.
But now let's see how good the scorer is. I think she's looked more aggressive trying to score. And I think it's going to reap her rewards because of the fact that she's taking advantage of those opportunities. And I think that with her coming in, if she can put up, let's say 12 points a game, but then she'll have her big moments where, let's say they play a USC. Let's say they play UCLA, and she pops off for, let's say, a 20 ball. Folks gonna be talking about like, maybe did Malaysia hold her back? No, it just happens to where if a scorer leaves,
you have to pick up the slack, and if you have said ability to fill in what the previous scorer did, that's what you're supposed to do.
My NIL is a real thing. You're getting paid.
Yeah.
So if you want that paycheck to come clear,
Hey, y'all complain about getting paid, collegiate athletes. Now's your time to earn that NIL.
thank you. Now, Hannah Hidalgo, 16 steals.
Yeah.
Any questions, comments, concern?
I mean,
swiper, no swiping.
regardless of who you play, I mean, I get it was Akron, and no disrespect to Akron, but I understand it was a team that was supposed to be of lower level, but 16 steals with 44 points, and I believe, 9 assists, almost having a triple-double off 16 steals is ridiculous. I mean,
No, it was rebounds. It was rebounds.
it was rebounds.
Rebounds. I remember.
Then you let her get rebounds. So she's taking the ball from the opposing team and still crashing on the boards.
Yes.
While giving you a 40 ball.
Yes.
That's just that's unspeakable stuff. Hannah Hidalgo, she's pretty much just taking on what she did last season. I mean, obviously, we already knew last season how she could get into her mode of taking some bad shots, but she was making those bad shots. And we knew that she was also, a player that was known for her steals, but she never got 16 steals in a game. And so whenever you do something like that, obviously, Notre Dame is going to come to the others to go out there and pick up the slack, especially with players like Olivia Miles transferring from Notre Dame to TCU. It's going to be tough for her to continue to sustain that. But, I mean, for that specific game, 16 steals in a game, you can't beat that.
They're just giving it out.
They are just giving it out. They are just giving it out.
Yeah, now for this season for USC will look a lot different without Juju Watkins for the whole year.
Yeah.
She's taking her time with the ACL, and I have to commend her because a lot of athletes will try to rush back and try to make sure that they're not missing out on anything. I think that her taking this rest will do a lot for her mental and a lot for her physical because I think your mental is as important for an athlete at such a high caliber as she is, as it will physically. And I think that her being able to take this rest, I think it will allow a lot of players to step up, like Kennedy Smith, who was the number 6 overall recruit in the 24 class.
Yes.
Then you also have Jazzy Davison, number 1 player for the 2025 class. And we see both these players are playing up to their respective rankings. And I think that USC is a team that, when it comes down to it, they have to play more team basketball. By the end of the day, you guys have number one rated players, number 6 rated players. You guys have 5 stars. You guys have a team that's coming in, some returners.
Yeah.
But if USC can continue this, they have a really good chance at winning the Big Ten. So with USC, I think that them playing UCLA will be a very hard matchup because who's going to guard Lauren Betts and who will make things difficult for her, that's to be continued. But I think that it'll be a very competitive rivalry game as it was last year. Yes, Juju's not playing, but at the same time, I think that attitude going into a rivalry like that, you don't want to see them win, and you're gonna make sure every bone in your body's gonna make sure that they ain't gonna win today. And I think that it'll be shown from this USC team, and I think that USC. A Sweet 16 appearance is good
Would
in
be
my
a
eyes.
terrific season if you're not going to have your best player.
Maybe even Elite 8. I might be pushing, but defensively, if they can do it, an Elite 8 appearance is doable. But now, our final topic of this episode. Do you think women's basketball will be at the forefront in the next 3 years ahead of the men's game?
It definitely has the potential, too. I'm not going to say 100% yes or 100% no, but just judging off how popular women's college basketball has gotten over these past few seasons with the Paige Beckers, the Angel Reeses, the Juju Watkins, the Caitlin Clarks, it's not crazy to say that this sport of women's college basketball cannot take the men's college basketball sport by storm. Because, I mean, obviously, we seen what, like I said, when LSU won that title over Caitlin Clark, there were a lot of people saying that they had way more fun watching that March Madness tournament than the men's March Madness tournament. So you continue to get seasons like that. Now, obviously, for men's basketball, it's going to be a little different because they leave pretty much every year. Their best players, they don't stay that long, but it can be exciting because, one out and new ones are in. Compared to, women's college basketball, they have the advantage of having the consistency, but, maybe you might get tired of seeing some of the same type of faces. But women's college basketball, they also have young, fresh faces coming in as well.
Right.
So my final answer to that is going to be, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't bet against it.
Yeah, like you hit the hammer on the nail with that, with the consistency of seeing the same face over and over. You can only be a fan of it because a one and done, you'll grow an attachment to it. But once it's gone, a new one's coming in. I don't want to play with you.
Like, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Like that's the vibe. That's the vibe it gives. But when it comes to the women's side, you'll grow an emotional attachment because once Paige Beckers left UConn, how many people you saw sending messages out in their stories saying Paige will miss you.
Yeah, whenever she won that national championship, everybody was on their notes talking about, I just love this for Paige.
Exactly. And I think that emotional attachment comes with the loyalty of the fan base and the growing audience of women's college basketball. And I think that women's sports are growing in a sense to where
absolutely
they can't overtake men in some sports, but at the same time though, we live in a world where women will be doubted. We live in a world where,
especially in the world of sports,
100%.
And I mean, it's sad that it's even like a competition. I mean, why can't we just enjoy how women's sports have reached new heights that they've never reached before?
Exactly. And I think that having faces that are very being advocates for the sport, like the Don Staleys, yes, like the Paige Beckers, and I think that them being very outspoken about the game, it helps it grow because more eyes will listen to what the words that they're saying. Then they'll go tune into a game. They'll go tune into a team, maybe like a UConn, maybe like a South Carolina, maybe like a USC to start off because those are the big brand name teams. But I think as time goes on, they'll become a fan of those teams more. Then they'll start becoming more interested into players. Then mid majors will come into play because there is going to be a mid major player that comes out with a high scoring output, and people will start paying attention to that. But I do believe that I can agree with you on that. I'm not sure yet, but I ain't put my money against it. So, yeah, but that's it for this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Have a good one.
Damn, bitch.
How long?
She said 1,000 seconds.
Nah, it was lengthy now.